Welcome to the Network Marketing Made Simple podcast. I am your host, Scott Aaron, and each and every week I'm going to come to you with short, simple, and powerful tactics of how you can grow your network marketing business, brand, bank account, and impact on those around you. And just remember, network marketing is not easy, but it can be made easy with simple steps to create the success that you truly deserve. So Kelly, welcome to today's episode. And why I'm excited about today, obviously, I love having my friends on my podcast, but more so, we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people in network marketing don't talk about, and that's understanding money and finances and how to invest and diversify. Because when you're running a business, and whether people want to admit it or not, but network marketing is a business. It's not your side hustle. You're not grinding just to get by and just pay for your products. You want to be profitable. But there's so many things that we're going to talk about. Kelly and I met a number of years ago. I had the honor and privilege of actually working with her. She was a client of mine, wanting to kind of expand her brand and her business onto LinkedIn. And we had the same business coach for a while. So there's a lot of deep roots to how Kelly and I connected. And since she's been pivoting and building her own personal brand, I just felt it was necessary to have her on talking about everything that she's focused on now. So Kelly, number one, welcome to the episode. And number two, if you could, for those that are not familiar with you and your work, just do a little brief introduction on who you are, what you do, and how you got to what you're doing right now.
Sure. Thank you. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here, Scott. I know that you and I have definitely worked together. We've crossed paths in a couple different areas. I have watched you grow, and I'm excited to be here. I'm definitely an honor. So I am Kelly Soto. I'm the founder of a movement entitled I Deserve Project, and which encompasses clarity, wellness, nourishment, empowerment, and financial advice. And it was definitely a very interesting start. I got my start in financial services 22 years ago, which has definitely been a life changer, because I started pretty much from nothing. And almost 7 years ago, started as a network marketer, working for a company that I know you and I had overlap with. And it was the start of my personal development journey. It's the start of my spiritual journey. It's the start of pretty much everything, and really me understanding the power of my story. And so, I'm certainly happy to give a high level overview of sort of my life and sort of how it's kind of broken down, because we all know that your mess is your message. And sometimes you go through life, and I think you flow through it without really being in awareness. And I'm thankful for being guided to such greatness, but I also am more grateful for, 7 years ago, exploring the real me and my purpose, because that's when I found it. So I grew up in Jersey City to a single mom on welfare, pretty much in the hood, if you want to call it, the other side of the tracks. But it was a blessing. Like, my mom she was a go-getter. She did what she can to support 4 children. And, she went through abusive relationship or marriage. And we watched some things growing up, and, fast forward when I was 18, just started college. My mom was obese at the time. So she was obese. And then she went into the hospital for breathing. So she was struggling with breathing. And what she realized, that she wound up with a blood clot on her heart the size of a lemon, and went to open heart surgery. Now, my mom, again, obese, because of, I guess, the suffering. It's my total guess, because I don't know what I don't know, but if I had to take my best guess, that's where it came from. And she wound up going through the open heart surgery and not recovering. So she was on life support for 13 days. She made a makeshift will, because, that she was talked into it by my aunts. They notarized it in the hospital. It was just as a precaution. She never came through that battle. And on her will, within her will, it was she wanted me to finish college because I was in college at the time. Fast forward, she passed away when I was 18. When I was 19, I became a single mom, looking for love, trying to figure things out, which definitely steered me in a really great direction. I don't recommend it for anyone who's listening that's a teenager. Don't become a single mom. That's not what I'm saying. It's my story. But it forced me into a space of just striving harder to give my daughter a life that I wanted. I wanted more. I wanted more for her. So that led me into financial services, and I wound up supporting a desk, I was a wholesale supporting a complete desk of about 80 mutual fund wholesalers as an assistant. I didn't know what a mutual fund was, and then slowly but surely became, I got licensed. I had my own territory. I, walked into that, and then I knew what I wanted. I just wanted more. I wanted more growth within that space. But I also didn't realize, like, I wasn't trying to find my purpose. I was just trying to strive and survive and, go through. So fast forward, I ended my career at the end of 2015 because so I was with Prudential at the time. I ended my career without even realizing I was forced into that space. And at the same time, there was some overlap with network marketing. So at that point, I stepped out of it. My position was eliminated. So it was life happening for me. And I took that time to find myself and to find my why. It's like, why am I here? And that at that time, I was, for the first time in forever, able to really look at my story and realize, like, all these crazy but exciting things happened for me. And I look back and, digging a little bit deeper, wellness for me was so powerful because of all of the suffering. What I didn't mention is I wound up meeting my husband at the time, and he was a cancer survivor. So there was a lot of things that were like, why am I here? Why am I growing into this space? Again, fast forward, I took, I wound up being employed by a coaching and consulting firm in the financial services space. And then a aha moment occurred to me. It's like, wow, why am I letting go of my 22-year experience in financial services when this is something I have so much knowledge to teach other people. I'm really, finding their power. So in the process of everything, being divorced, having to reset, lost a lot of income, went through a lot of financial hardship, and then the divorce on top of it. Your mess is truly your message. And so I opened my practice in more recent times with Northwestern Mutual, and I combined my passion and my profession. So I Deserve Project 2.0, I call it, is all about clarity, wellness, nourishment, empowerment, and financial advice. And I focus on the women's market, but I also have men that are clients. And I like to make sure that people realize no goal is too big or too small, no account is too big or too small, and I like to give people the opportunity to grow into the place that they truly deserve. And everyone knows that goals are not that hard to achieve when you really start to set yourself on the right track.
Well, no, I couldn't agree more. And, thank you for your vulnerability and your transparency. I think that's something that's really needed in this world right now, because I truly feel there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Everyone keeps giving this look of success on their pristine photos on social media, and everything is sunshine and rainbows. Not that, we shouldn't have a positive outlook on things, but people don't realize is that, the obstacles and the things that they had to overcome in their life, such as yourself and myself, we use those as our superpowers to become resilient no matter what we do. And what I found is that a lot of people think that they're alone. A lot of people feel like that they're the only one that's in that kind of mess. They're the only ones that have been divorced. I've been twice divorced. I have a 7-year-old from my second marriage, which obviously is one of the greatest gifts. I'm making wedding plans with my fiance literally as we speak to get married shortly. But it's one of those things where you have to grow from all of that. But I think the one important thing that you're doing now is you're combining, in my opinion, some of the key areas of not just entrepreneurship, but life, understanding your message, understanding your story, becoming very mindful of who you are and why you do what you do. But most importantly, no one wakes up and says, you know what, I really want to live a mediocre life. No one wakes up just wanting to be average. I think we all want this life of abundance and prosperity. And again, people know my story about having to file for personal bankruptcy and, making millions, losing millions, all those things. It's part of my story and it's part of life, but I didn't let any of that stop me. And, we both work with entrepreneurs. And I speak to a lot of network marketers. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but a lot of them come from the network marketing background. And you and I both know, network marketing can be a very fruitful and profitable business if you treat it as one. But you and I also know that most people aren't treating it that way, which means they're struggling, they're in debt, they're not getting their products paid for, and then they end up quitting. So my simple question to you is, with what you know now, being on both sides of the coin, having a network marketing professional background, but also having a even deeper professional background in financial services, what are some things that network marketers really need to know about having to make themselves more financially stable and secure with the business that they're looking to grow?
Yeah. So mindset is where it all starts, right? I mean, and it's, I know you asked me more about the financial part, but you got to keep pushing and keep growing and keep, pushing yourself into a space. But there's also the idea of making sure that your goals are in order, so you know how to reverse engineer, like what do I need to achieve this level, and shutting off anything that steps in your way. And again, we're bouncing back to the mindset piece. But when you're setting the goals, there's also that idea of budgeting and the taxes and and all of the things that most people want to avoid. They want to avoid in the conversation. And so just getting really clear on what the goals are, and then reverse engineering, how do I get there? How am I going to get there? And taking one step and putting it in front of the other, and just not giving up. Because what you'll realize through the process is that you are, and especially if you're not writing down the accomplishments, is that you don't realize how much you've moved forward and how much you've succeeded until you actually take a step back and look at that. I love Facebook memories, because I'm like, holy moly, I've been saying the same thing for 1,000 years. Success leaves clues is another component. It truly does. I used to say fake it till you make it. And I think there's some value in saying that, but I think more importantly is like, just step into the space that you want to be, and continue to grow into that. But yeah, in terms of goals and finances, I would say that those two are side by side. And if you don't have the resources, find out what it takes to get there. I know there's a lot of focus right now, especially with the new world that we're in, with COVID and the pandemic and resetting and the new norm. There's a lot of ways to get out of maybe existing subscriptions or existing existing expenses, and just resetting. Those are really good first starts, especially for someone newer in the space.
It's a lot of good points, and I think that you touched on something that really, it's a trigger for me. It's that fake it till you make it mentality. And I mean, just think about that. I'm going to fake it until I make it.
Mm-hmm.
And just think about that from an emotional standpoint. Is that, run it through the filters? Is that being truthful? Is that being honest? Is it being genuine? Is it being authentic? And the answer to every one of those is no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fake anything. You just have to be yourself, and you have to get stronger every day. You're putting that armor on every single day. I didn't know what I would be doing right now 7 years ago. I wasn't faking or pretending to be anything more than just myself. And either people will accept who you are or they won't, and both are fine. And the statistic is half the people will like you, half the people won't. But people typically focus on the people that don't because they want to be a people pleaser and they just want to be liked instead of respected. And for me, I have a wonderful tribe of people that really don't follow me. They walk alongside of me. And that's something that I learned from Zach Slobin. You don't want followers. You want people that walk alongside of you on the path to living the best life. And you and I both know that there's, outside of network marketing, just in life in general, there's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of uncertainty right now where people, they're not sure where their next dollar is going to come in. And, I'm grateful and blessed to be in the position that I'm in where, I've been working from home for the last 4+ years. So I'm used to being quote unquote quarantined. But for people that were used to going to a 9-to-5, going into an office, doing that daily commute, earning that paycheck, this is a really challenging time. So in your personal and professional opinion, why do you feel a lot of network marketers are not succeeding with building their business?
It's the action and the consistency. I know, especially if you're watching leaders, those that have gone before you and have found success, that it over and over again they're repeating, everything is duplicatable. Everything is duplicatable. You have to take the action. And you also have to understand, and it's also twofold. Like, you also have to make sure that you're working on yourself, because your mindset is it's gonna empower you to do all those things, right? So again, it's just action and then the consistency and repeating that, because then it becomes a muscle. It becomes a muscle, like your muscle. Then you build the muscle memory, and then if you crash and fall, it's also honoring where you are, because you have to listen to what those lessons are. You have to listen to what's next, and you have to listen to the breakthroughs. And also, there's one other component. Maybe you start off in one area, one network marketing opportunity, one job, one role. If something breaks down, there's also a breakthrough coming from that. So even if you started one and you have this like focus, like I'm all in, it's okay to do something different if you're being called to do that. Open yourself to being called for more or called for something different, because if it's in your mind, it's for you. And so you have to sometimes take a step back and revisit where you are in that moment.
I think, clarity is everything. And there's nothing happens by accident. I truly feel that everything happens on purpose. And I love what you said. Action is the cure-all for feeling stuck. If you change nothing, then nothing changes. But if you change something, something will change. But also consistency. The way that I teach people LinkedIn, and the way that I teach growing any business, I use the example of treating your business and your brand like a 401k. Don't treat it like a lottery ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you treat it like a lottery ticket, you're basically, you may hit it big right away, but if you don't have those financial habits and you haven't worked those financial muscles, you're going to lose everything that you made. And the statistic, people that do hit the lottery, 75% of them end up losing the money within 2 years anyway. But if you end up taking the long road, you end up taking the most difficult road possible, which is being patient with your money, just like a 401k. You make those monthly deposits, and that's the thing. I literally have I have an auto deposit going out of my account every single month, right into my 401k, right to my financial firm, and I've been doing that, on and off for depending upon what's going on with the markets, since I was 25 years old. So I've understand about leveraging income. Most people, when they can't retire anymore, I'm never going to retire. I will get to retirement age. There's a difference between being retirement age and actually retiring. Most people that I speak to that are in network marketing, where they're in retirement age, they're on Social Security, they're collecting some sort of pension, you quickly learn that money doesn't really get you too far. And the earlier, and it's not even about starting early. It's taking as much money as you can within your means and having it work for you. Because
Mhm.
think about it, there are so many people that are wealthy out there and they make a ton of money, but they spend everything that they make, so they're still broke. And that's
Yeah.
the thing with COVID-19, it's brought about such it's literally brought to the forefront this middle class that we have, and I'm not going to get political, but this is political
Yeah.
as I'm going to get.
Yeah.
It brought forward this middle class that was quote unquote doing okay, and you realize that they weren't. They
Mhm.
were living paycheck to paycheck and week to week and month to month, just like a lot of other people. So my simple question is this, with the time that we have left in today's episode, what are one or two simple things that anyone in business, whether they're in network marketing or not, what are two things that people can do to become more financially sound, or how to better financially educate themselves?
Yeah. So just like working with a coach, or a therapist or a lawyer or a doctor, I urge everyone to find someone in this space to be the professional. I know there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of the things that are Googleable, but remember there's advisors and financial representatives out there that have done this for years and study this, and they study the markets, and they study the different opportunities, and they also see so many cases. So really rely on a professional to help you from start to finish, from budgeting all the way to retirement, and create a plan for yourself. And then you also have that person to become an it's an accountability thing, because there's a process in place. As long as you're working with the right financial representative and someone that it really cares about that work, that's one definite area. But there's also the runway. Let's talk about that. I mean, because to your point, people live paycheck to paycheck. We also spend a lot of money that's sometimes unnecessary. And so it's really getting clear on what are the needs, and how can we take a fresh look at what we're spending, and what's actually needed versus what is desired, and getting real on whether or not that even fits in your budget. I mean, we all want more, right? And we also want to spend what we earn at times, but also just being really smart about making sure that we're prepared for the rainy day, making sure that we are really being mindful. Another thing I would say, and this especially for someone who's brand new, is that sometimes you think that estate planning and financial planning is for those who are wealthy, and I think that's a pretty big misconception. You should everyone and maybe there are advisors or financial representatives or insurance brokers that only work with a certain a certain market, but there's someone out there for you to connect with, and make sure that you're making your money work for you, and creating a plan, and designing that. And so I'm big on creating that vision, creating the goals, vision boarding, and knowing that what you want is what you want, or what you set out to get is for you. And so I would just say to make sure that you are at least being mindful of connecting with a professional, just like you would a life coach or a lawyer or a doctor, because there's plenty of people that are experts in making sure that you can stay on plan, stay on track, and really make your money work for you. But the runway right now, this huge, it's whatever you think is comfortable, but 6-month runway is what they say, in terms of having, bless you, in terms of making sure that you are financially prepared, especially for some of these downturns. And I would even say going as far as a 12-month is even more secure.
It's funny. I've been working with the same financial advisor and planner for 12 years, and we met in a BNI group. And when we were having our initial consultation, I said, "Listen," and I was still personal training at the time. This is 5 years before even network marketing came into my life. I said, "Listen, I'm a trainer. If you come to me, I'm going to give you the best advice on how to build your body, how to lose fat, how to build muscle, write you a nice diet plan. I'm coming to you I don't want someone to tell me what I need to do. I want to give you my money because you know what to do with it. And I just want you to go do your thing because you're the professional, not me. And that's the thing. If you're not working, and this is the honest to God truth, I don't care how much or how little money you're making, you will be amazed what a financial advisor can do with you with what you have.
Yeah.
Even if it's just putting $100 a month away. People don't understand the principle of compounded interest. Like people, they can't fathom it. So I love everything that you said, but more importantly, there is so much that you do for people, mindset wise and, health wise, but also monetary health. So how can people best and easily connect with you and learn more about what you do and what all the different things that encompass who Kelly Soto is? How can you help them and where can they find you?
Yes, of course. Thank you. So my cell phone number is 347-743-3454. The website is www.kellyasoto.nm.com. I think that would be the best. And my email address, I can also share that. It's kelly.a.soto@nm.com.
Yeah, and all that information obviously will be in the show notes for people to directly connect with Kelly. And she also has a very healthy presence on social media, so I will leave those handles as well. So Kelly, before we sign off, final question. There is no wrong answer.
Yeah.
What does success truly mean to you?
Success means living in the moment and creating your true and honest happiness and finding the life that you truly deserve. And so, that's what success means to me.
Beautifully spoken, because I always talk about it all the time. There's three types of people. There's people that live in fear, where they're fearful of the future. There's people that live in anxiety because they're focused on the past. And then there's people that focus on the now, which is the only time that we can control. And that's where you can truly find peace.
Mm-hmm.
So Kelly, thank you so much for being here today. Just so grateful for you. Nothing but love and light sent to you and your family during these times. And just thank you for all the valuable information you left the audience with. And again, guys, all that information will be in the show notes. You guys can connect with Kelly. So Kelly, thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Absolutely. So guys, as always, leave a rating and review. Let us know your thoughts on the episode, what you liked, what your aha moments were. And again, please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again so much for checking out this week's episode. And if you can, head over to iTunes, search for Network Marketing Made Simple, leave me a 5-star rating, basic review. I would be grateful for all of the support you guys can give me. And again, if you'd be interested in learning more how to utilize LinkedIn to grow your business, your brand, and your bank account, head over to my website, www.scottaaron.net. Fill out the form for your free 15-minute discovery call so I can learn more about you, your business, and how we can work together. And again, thank you guys so much. Grateful for you all, and I'll see you next time.